David Dickson has been regarded as one of the most significant ministers and preachers, and indeed theologians, from the time of the Second Reformation in Scotland. And when I say the Second Reformation in Scotland, I'm meaning especially that period from the signing of the National Covenant in 1638, right the way through to at least 1662. So that sort of period that is around about the time of the Westminster Assembly. And his life, he was born around about 1583, and his life really spans the fall and the rise and the fall again of the Scottish Church, and the different experiences and providences that the Scottish Church had during that time, a period of persecution, a period of decline, but also, as I say, a period of riches where people that were godly ministers, great theologians came to the fore. And John Livingston, who's one of the main ministers of that time as well, someone once asked him, well, who would you take to be the greatest gospel minister in Scotland? And he had no doubt that David Dickson was the greatest that he ever knew. And he was significant as a leader during the time of this sort of period, the 1620s and the 1630s especially, when there was a period of decline and things were being forced on the Scottish Church by the king and the bishops. And he helped to lead the resistance against that. In fact, he was exiled up to Turriff, which is in Aberdeenshire, so up to the far north, because of his standing out against royal policies and the way that basically the state was trying to control the church. And so that was that period. And then during his ministry in Irvine in Ayrshire, which is just below Glasgow, he experienced a time of revival. And the time of revival really came on the heels of his return from exile, his return from being banished up to the far north. And people flocked to hear him, particularly on a Monday, which was the market day. And there was this period of revival that was called by people that were not well disposed to it, the Stewarton sickness, because the whole valley was the Stewarton Valley, and it was people from the whole district who were being converted and changed. So yeah, Dickson was a professor of divinity in Glasgow and in Edinburgh, and he died in 1662, just as everything was being unraveled by Charles II. Mm-hmm. But he wrote the first commentary on the Westminster Confession, which was his lectures to his students. He was expounding it to his theology students. And he also was very important in covenant theology and developing covenant theology and the application of that in pastoral context. So a lot there in terms of a faithful preacher, also a faithful expositor. He wrote many commentaries, and he urged other people to get involved in those. And they were expositions that were designed for the ordinary person, the ordinary working man, that he could come back after a day's work and dig into the scriptures for maybe half an hour. And he was something that would just give him a window into the scriptures and how to apply them.